I'm hyped about today's live, to be honest. It's a bit late to be doing like a roadmap for the year at the middle of the year, but it's better late than never. So we'll take what we can get. Hopefully it comes with a really nice roadmap infographic, because I really like infographics. Oh, there they are. Hello, hello. Okay, I need to put the sound up a bit. So today's live will have imported information. Ah, there the sound is better. We're gonna talk about the different dates of the planning, changes. They will announce some dates that some people could have read yesterday on the launcher for the 3.2 update. So they're presenting themselves. The guy on the right of our screen is Cool. The other is Papino, the Pope, producer of the game. Sound check, everyone. Thumbs up. Yeah, perfect. We want to go back on the dates today. Since it was a bit of rock and roll start of the year, there has been a lot of changes in the dates and the roadmap. So there was a first delay on the Divine Dimension. Yeah, there's not a lot of slides, but still there are some slides. Yeah. So yesterday there was a first draft of the dates on the launcher, and here's the date of the beta. That's for sure. The 9th July 9th. It's gonna be pretty soon. A couple of news have been given for the Japan Expo. So the stuff that you will be seeing at the Japan Expo, you will be able to fight the Titan that will be adapted, but it won't be exactly the same, but you will see the same monster at the Japan and in game. Visually, there's going to be a lot of changes because of Unity features. And the Japan Expo fight is going to be adapted to be able to be playing solo. Oh, so it's a character from the Bestial show that we will be playing at the Japan Expo. So probably Karn. So a group fight on the beta and a solo fight, the same fight basically, at the Japan. 22nd of July, that's the 3.2 update. It has been delayed for 1 month. We delayed it for 4 weeks to have like more time to debug. That's why the next updates, the next 2 weeks are gonna be focused on debug. And July 22nd we will have the Divine Dimension. Yeah, it was still important for them, even though if there was a lot of debug to do. The new content was always important. They've been working on that for a while. And there's gonna be a whole new dimension, 3 bosses, a new system, of mechanics from the dimension. Okay, so in Velorium there's 3 times. In this one there's gonna be 3 things that are gonna be different. No spoilers. First area is gonna be level 170, and then you will have 2 areas of level 200, more high level than the other dimensions, to be a bit more adapted to the people that are missing content. For 2 reasons, they decided to do this. Yeah, a lot of the community is at a high point in their level. And also the around levels 170, there's not that much content, so they wanted to add some content there. And that means it will add multiple level 200 sets from the monsters on these areas. And they didn't want to do all 3 zones of level 200. That's why they picked a lot of new stuff, a lot of new challenges are gonna be coming on the 3 areas. Okay, interesting. So no spoilers, he's running it back. Okay, so interesting stuff that's coming in July. It's the in-game calendar where you can schedule events with other people. You can see the upcoming almanacs. It's gonna be like yeah, one place to see all that's coming up in game in terms of. Okay, the calendar will be able to know when the Titan is gonna be useful. So apparently the Titan is not gonna be always there. You will see it in a calendar. And they will add leaderboards in game. If you're gonna fight a Titan and prove who's the best, then you will want to show off your on the leaderboard in game. Having the leaderboard in game is better for the players because that's what they are. Okay, so they have like the system of planned events that they used on the Back to Rush event of like this time frame you have like a special event on these monsters, and now they're reusing this for the calendar and for the world bus. A new rework of Osamodas is also coming on the July 22nd. At last, it's there, and there's a lot of new beautiful things. People have been speculating about the summons, cracklers, Dofus. No spoilers, but obviously some people are gonna be very happy. Class is really cool. Gameplay's fun. And they're teasing one of the guy in the production team that is Oza main. So it's gonna be accessible as soon as the beta on July 9th. And there's not gonna be the boo as a summon. But there's gonna be a lot to play around with. All of this is cool, but we need to talk about what's coming after that. So that's in the start of September, you'll have the 3.3 beta. And in this update, there's gonna be two main things. So PSI rework, so that's Dreams, and minor modifications for AVA. So when you see PSI, it means Puits des Songes Infinis, means Dreams. Yeah. It's basically like the end game gameplay for PvE. The problem with it was that it didn't age well, and there was a lot of problems with it. There was a lot of stuff that were missing from this feature. For instance, seeding. To be able to like present the same challenge, the same dreams options to two different people. That way you can do that with a seed. And the rework will allow to us to add all of these exciting new features. There's a second dev blog that's coming up about it. And on top of that, the AVA, it's gonna be linked to the top 3 of the week. A couple of weeks ago, we discussed about AVA. Oh yeah, they were talking about freezing completely AVA system, putting it on pause. We want to work on that during the summer, and we wanted to work on that in December, but it seemed to be super important for you guys, so we are putting it a bit earlier. We're gonna work on that on the summer and have some changes available in September. Breeding is not in September. Where is it? For 2 reasons. It's taking a lot of time, and second, the goal is... Okay, so they're switching around their priorities because the breeding rework doesn't seem to be like unanimously loved. So we're switching the breeding later to be able to work on stuff that is more important for the community, like AVA. We did the surveys, and that's what we gathered from it. Yeah, it's a big announce, so I'm looking at the chat real quick. People only want to be able to use their mounts underwater. We are shifting the priorities, and to give you a specific example, the fact that we push back the breeding, we can put some stuff earlier. So one of the suggested changes is to like sharing the professions at the scale of the server, so all of your characters on a single server share the same levels of the jobs. It seems like the community wants that more. This is what they've been working on the breeder profession as a technical test. They wanted to test like if the breeder job. Okay, interesting. Sorry. Instead of using breeding as a tryout of sharing professions for the whole server, they're gonna try with all they're gonna switch it up and put all the jobs like that, and when they add the breeder, it's gonna be easy. Yeah, so even if you delete all your characters from a server, your account is gonna be level 200 on a job on that server. So if you create a new character, it's gonna be immediately level 200. We're talking about maybe some more stuff that will be shared, like Zap discovery. When you discover a Zap with a character and you create a new character, all the Zaps are already discovered. We talked a bit about the commas being shared, but we're not sure about that, so we won't probably do that. Yeah. We'll have to do choices and to select the right things that we want to share for the whole server. There's a lot of questions about that, especially the technical stuff. The second point, that is not technical. We need, if we do these changes, we need to think about the achievements. Like when you get achievement for jobs on a character, you can't unlock these achievements anymore on the other characters. Let's give an example. If you're negative point is that if you're level 200 Smith and you transfer your character to another server, you have to start over unless you already have characters on that server because the job level is related to the server. It's linked to the server. So there's pros and cons, and we need to think about that really carefully. But the fact that breeding is pushed back allows us to think about stuff like that. A lot of people are asking like, why are you talking about that when there's still a lot of bugs? But cool here. Here's the game designer, and while the devs are working on debugging stuff, well, cool here is just doing nothing. So he's thinking about all of these concepts. So they're trying to push the game in the right direction at their scale. So cool is a game designer. He's trying to design stuff that's gonna be nice for everyone, that's gonna be liked by the community, make the game more fun, more accessible. So that's why they're thinking about stuff like that, even though they are still working on a lot of work to do on bugs. Now that talking about the cosmetics being linked to the the fact that the cosmetics were switched from the character to the account makes the character lose a bit of its history. So if like this character has a very rare title or a cosmetic, the fact that the cosmetic is not linked to that character makes this character lose a bit of its identity. But that's not necessarily bad. But these are the things that we're talking about, thinking about, and the overall goal is to modernize the game. We want to look at all of the limitations that, from a gameplay perspective, that came from technical limitations, and now that we're in Unity, we can move forward. All right, now he's asking for the slide back because they want to talk about more what's coming. Since we talked about the Osamodas rework, people in the production team are so hyped that they're not focused anymore. All right, so in November we're gonna get 3.4 beta, and in December we're gonna get the update 3.4, which is gonna be more user interface and guild rework. Move cam. Good point. Can I? Here we go. So, okay. They're talking about their guild rework. They're just repeating what they said in the blog post. So, guild raids and stuff like that. There's still a lot of unknown. It's still far in the future, so they don't have like specifics to share. All these guilds are like a pillar of Dofus experience, so they want to put back some experience, adding guild raids. There's so many possibilities for that, so we're gonna figure out something that's gonna be interesting for everyone. A lot of people share this opinion on the team. The social aspect of Dofus is like the biggest part. This is why we fell in love with Dofus. That's why we stay in game. We keep coming back. For Papineau, the guild rework is like the most important rework of the year. because it's affect the social aspect of it. The Yeah, the goal is to when you the game keeps evolving, and when you come back to it, you find your friends or new friends, and then you have the like you want to have fun with them and play with them. So just to touch on AVA, they said they were doing minor modifications, but the big rework is still brewing, still coming. We're not putting that away. A lot of players don't want to take part into that feature. As soon as we talk about AVA, a lot of people are just saying, no, 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 we don't want that. We hate it. So it's not impossible that we're gonna be removing completely AVA and we're gonna be adding something else instead. But that's not sure. We will be having more answers next year. For the new content that they announced in December 2025, it's not like the content is evolving in relation with other content, transmedia content. So maybe TV shows and or other games and stuff like that. So we're pushing it back to make sure that we're really hitting the target. So the new chapter of the Dofus main storyline is going to be coming in 2026 instead of at the end of the year. It's like, okay, wait, the live is done, guys. I'm going back home. But they're now gonna entering the Q&A. Group Finder is still listed. It's not on the timeline because we know you. As soon as we put it on a slide, people are like getting out their pitchforks. It's not done yet. How dare you? Yeah, but it's still on the planning. I think it will be very beneficial for the game, for dungeons, archmonster, bounties, quest help, anything like that. So we're still like thinking about that. A lot of people are asking about Temporis. We're not planning about Temporis. Chill out, guys. This is not the mood. Read the room. At first, there was a plan for the Temporis for this year, but when we discussed about that, the players were rejecting it at this time, and they were right because we're in a spot where we need to improve the base game. It's useless to create a new game mode if the base, like the foundation, is not stable. So there's a lot of things that we want to work on, AVA breeding, dreams, and stuff like that. And all of these things are higher priority than Temporis. We want to make another one. It doesn't mean that it's over forever, but there won't be any Temporis this year, and not at the beginning of the year 2026. Eventually, it will come back, but we want to focus on improving the game right now. Some guys care about expeditions. There's no plan about that. They want to take the time to make them right. So the calendar, even if a lot of people are like, you're only doing that, It's so empty, but a lot of people that are implementing all the great ideas from the designers are working very hard on fixing the bugs. So that's why we have to select what we want to implement from all of these rework systems that we want to push. 3.2 is gonna be doing a lot of stuff for PvE as a whole. There's too many. There's a lot of new technologies, new ways to play. It's a really nice new pattern that doesn't exist. It will shake up PvE. There were testers that came in the offices and tested it. Multiple playtests, internal and with players that we made come to the offices. Knowing that we had really a high level of players that came to playtest, even with these high quality players that some of them won the PvE tournament last year, they had a hard time fighting these things. The Titan is gonna be really gigantic, and it's a big technical challenge because there's a lot of technical new stuff there. Okay, so Manaya said that on the 7th July, there's gonna be a live that's gonna announce what's coming in the new dimension. When is the breeding update? Later next year. Oh, interesting. They did a new system that the new dimension is going to be evolving over time. They want to make tests of like weather system. So all of the systems that they implemented in a new dimension that allows the dimension to evolve over time could be backported to the game, to the rest of the game to implement weather systems or something like that. We don't want to show you too much, and we will reveal everything in due time. But a lot of stuff on the maps, on the fights, on the Divine Dimension. There's a lot of technical new stuff. Finally, we are getting content that will showcase what Unity allows us to do, allows us to add to the base game. Weather, my bad, yes, weather, like rain, sun. Okay, I missed that part. But they want to improve like old game mechanics. They're introducing it in the game in the dimension, and they will, if it's successful, then they will use these new technologies to improve the rest of the game. Saying once again that the breeding is delayed. Oh, they're saying the fact that we're shifting our priorities will allow us to work on some really annoying quests like tile standing. They want to change how the portals are open and to get rid of the treasure hunt for opening them. Cool doesn't want to spoil anything. But a new way to reach the dimensions would be cool. And okay, so it's gonna be more modernized for the new dimension. Volcania dates, the summer events is gonna. It's always in July, so around the start of July, I think. We don't know when the current beta is gonna close. People are asking about that. Probably around the July 1st, but there's no like fixed dates. There's a lot of stuff that we need, some stuff that we need to do on the beta still. They're still in the exploration phase for the what they call mutualisation. It's sharing progress of stuff between for the whole server. Scrolling, for instance, he thinks it's a bad idea. It's gonna impact the economy wildly if they do that. So they need to be cautious around that. Group inventory, it's part of the topics about the hero mode. These are topics that we don't want to talk too much about that because it's gonna take a lot of time and these topics are very high, big scale. You will know about it if we have something to share. If we don't tell you anything about it, that means we're still thinking about how to do it. I'm reading a lot of questions, but I don't know anything about those questions. Okay, so Titans are not going to be available in the other dimensions, but elsewhere in the game, for sure, this is something that we want. This want to introduce. Kralov is going to be a great candidate to be transformed into a Titan eventually because of the. To give you an info on the Titan, in terms of it took it took one animator to draw the Titan. It took him 3 months, so it's a lot of work. For sure, it was the first one, but we won't be like. We need to learn about from this first experience to be able to adjust like and evaluate how possible it's going to be to add more. The Titan is designed for 4 players. For a new for new people that just joined the live, Titan is gonna be coming with. Yeah, so it's a boss that's outside of the dungeon, has specific conditions to appear, and that's gonna be introduced in the new dimension. They want to touch back on rare drops and generally like drops in general. As a general sense, they're thinking about stuff to make it better internally. A small touch on touch point on the bots. Once again, we want to be more active. Maybe this week we did a lot of ban waves on colo bots and on a lot of people that we were reported. But it's still a topic that's important for us, and we're discussing internally. If you had a lot of feedback on your reports, it's normal because this week we're intensifying. Yeah, we're in a period where we want to work on getting better at handling this. 2 more questions because we're straying away from talking about the roadmap. Cool is saying that he's too specialized on game design, that a lot of questions he don't know how to answer. So from the start of the week, more than 5k bans, colo bans since the start of the week. Personally, Papineau banned 250 to 300 accounts. It's hard to answer these questions because there's no new Dofus coming with the new dimension, apparently. If we go back to the calendar, July 9th, there's going to be the beta, followed on the 22nd by the official release of the Divine Dimension. 3.3 in the 3.3 beta in start of September. Other quality of life improvements that we don't talk about too soon. Then 3.4 beta in November, with the release in December. Something that we didn't show on the slide, there will be tournaments that will be organized in the end of year. So PvP and PvE tournaments. Last year's tournament were really great, so we want to do that again in this year. Multiple tournaments, 2 or from 2 to 3. It will add the pace to the end of the year. And we're working on like reusable formulas for the tournaments. A lot of people are asking why the Titan is balanced around 4 people and not 8. In terms of balancing, it's much easier to balance around 4 players. When you're facing... There's no wrong way to play, like B4 or B8, but it's much easier to balance new content around 4 players. Nothing on the server merge. As soon as we have some plans around that, we will communicate, but so far, nothing. Reminder that there's a second devlog about the dreams that will be released in the following weeks. One last question. There's gonna be merged in terms of Colosseum matchmaking between, I assume, the old and the new servers. And to follow on those topics, you can look at the bug list on the website. Take a look at that to see what's coming. It reminds me. Yeah, okay. So he's just reminding us that there's a dofus.com/en/bugs. A lot of tickets are there. Now you can vote on that, I think. So don't forget, like, if you have any bugs that aren't listed there, to share them. Our goal is really to be listening to the community and acting on the biggest concerns. I think that's it for today. The goal it wasn't to go into too much into details of all of the things, but to showcase like the whole roadmap. We're very hyped about the AnkamaLive that's coming on the 7th of July. That's on a Monday, I think. And at the Japan Expo, which is the weekend just before. Don't hesitate to go to the Japan Expo to meet the staff, see the Titan, discover this fight. It's gonna be a solo fight adapted at the Japan Expo, but you'll get like an overview of like how the Titan will look. Thank you everyone for being here. We managed to answer most of the questions. All right.